very good day to you, South Africa. Welcome to the world of radio right here on Amasefa TV, home of Adobe content. My name is Gift Ariel Makivara Maifala. Today we're out at UJFM. We are visiting a gentleman by the name of Karabo. We first got introduced to him when he entered and won Idols in 2015. He is currently a radio presenter as we speak. So, Arebakene Joe. Thank you so much, man, for allowing us to come and profile you today.
Thank you for coming through, man. Thank you for coming through.
Okay, right. So, as we are profiling you today, I want us to talk a bit about yourself. You know? So, in a nutshell, to someone who's watching, who's Karabo and where do you come from?
Karabo was originally from Nelspruit, born and raised in Nelspruit. Karabo is a musician by profession. What else can I say? Jeez. Well, Karabo's on radio now. Besides that, look, growing up in Nelspruit, I learned a lot. I mean, for me, the music started there, and I think the reason why I love radio so much is because it's also got everything to do with music. You know, this is now a space where I can also give other artists a platform for people to hear their music. You know, and also at the same time be able to profile myself as well. You know, so
precisely.
Yeah, so that's what Karabo is in a nutshell.
All right. So how is it like growing up in Nelspruit? What are the circumstances that you met as an individual growing up?
Growing up in Nelspruit was fun, man. I think also because I was surrounded by a loving family. So for those that don't know, I've got 7 siblings. Me being the last born, so I was a baby. Well, I am still the baby. And my parents are both still alive. And I think growing up in Nelspruit was lovely, man. I've made great relationships with friends that I still am friends with until today. A good friend of mine, Takato, we've been friends since grade 1. It's about 19 years now that we've been friends. And I think, look, relationships continue growing, man. Being in Nelspruit and growing up there was amazing for me because, I mean, Nelspruit is very laid back. It's chilled. You know, no one is in a hurry. You know, everybody's just enjoying life, man. You know, and I always say that whenever you want to get back and think, that's the place you need to go to. Just to sit down and be able to think and just take in the space.
Yeah, the space, you know. Okay, right now, so before getting into radio, let's talk about music. Has always music been the thing that you've always wanted to pursue, or is it something that you perhaps bumped into and you're like, I'm going to do it?
Music has always been something that I wanted to pursue, man. Always. From a very young age, I was that kid that loved entertaining people when they were visiting. And I was always called by my cousins, come and imitate this person, come sing this song, and come do this, come do that. And I just loved seeing people smile and be happy, you know. So for me, it was like a hobby now. It became a thing that I really enjoyed doing. And I think I knew from then that at some point in my life, I would be a musician and I would want to. I mean, look, I went and I studied, but I was always drawn to music.
Okay, right. So obviously you got famous when you entered a competition called Idols. So and you won that particular season actually. So how was the process? How was the process from entering the competition and actually being crowned an idol on that particular season?
It was incredible, man. Look, I mean, you are standing in a queue. Obviously, where I went to Pretoria. It was a queue of about 4,000 to 5,000 people.
Wow.
But when you put the whole country together, it's about 56,000 people.
Wow.
And I mean, amongst 56,000 people, I won the competition. So for me, it was just the grace of God, man, to be honest. I don't think I would have been able to do it without him, 1. 2, because of the people, you know, that voted and that supported me. And I think also the contestants that I was competing against, man, we were really supportive of each other. And funny enough, we'd even help each other, even though we were competing against each other. So we made sure that when we get on that stage, we gave out our best, you know. And I think for me, that's what stood out in our season.
Then you became famous, you know, from being Karabo, the ordinary Karabo, to being a known person. So how do you deal? How do you survive with being known by a whole lot of people?
You know, I always say this, that Karabo is still Karabo, same person. The only difference is that now I'm known by many more people. So the person Karabo has not changed. It's just now the number of people that know Karabo that has changed. You know, so I'm still the same person that I was before. Nothing has really changed, and I still treat people the same way that I did before. I think the only difference now is obviously you bump into people that you don't know that know you. You know, so obviously you need to be, you know, give the time to just make that 2 minutes special for that person. Take a picture with them, give them a hug if they want a hug. And if ever it's a person who's been a fan from the first time they saw you on screen till the very end, then you make that little 2 minutes. I mean, 2 minutes of your time changes her life or changes his life, you know. And I think for me, that's that for me is special because it means that I've impacted somebody else's life in a positive way. Yeah.
And as much as you have so many followers, I mean, other people would come as being intruders to your life. You know, they would be extreme. So I want to know, how do you deal with such fans and that would be extreme to such a point that they'll annoy you as an individual?
I think for me, look, man, I always say that before I'm a musician, before I'm anything, I'm human. And I think that's where all of us are the same. We're human. Before you're a doctor, you're a human being. Before you are a president, you're a human being. So if ever a person is going to invade my privacy, that will hurt me. Do you understand? So because I'm human, not for any other reason. So if ever you are a person and you do that to the next person, you must know that if ever the same thing was done to you, think about it that way. So yeah, so that's how I'll explain it. So whenever there are people like that, obviously I'll only explain to people, say that, guys, don't be nasty to me and expect me not to say anything, or don't be horrible towards me and expect me, you know, if you treat me well, I'll treat you well, you know. And if you say that you love me, you respect me, then for me, respect should be the one thing that stands between you and I. If you can respect me, I'll respect you. You know, and there are ways of asking for things. Don't expect me to give you things just because you voted for me or just because you did this for me. When you did it from the willingness of your own good heart, you know what I mean? And I appreciate that. But don't use that as a lever to get to me. It doesn't work like that, you know what I mean? And if ever you want a picture from me, if ever you want anything, just talk to me. I'm a human being, I'm understanding. You know? Let's do it, yeah.
Alright, so let's talk about being versatile as an artist. I mean, we saw Karabo as a musician. You later ventured into radio. So how is it important to you to be versatile as an artist?
I think it's very important, man. Look, I think as an artist, don't ever block yourself or put yourself in a corner and think that this is only what you are. You know, there's so much more to you, I believe. And I think a lot of people are afraid to explore themselves. And they're afraid to show more of who they are because they're afraid of what people may say. People are going to talk regardless. If you sit and do nothing, people are going to talk. If you do a lot of things, people are going to talk. I mean, people are complaining about Somizi being everywhere. But he's doing well.
He's doing well.
You know what I mean? He's doing well for himself. And I think what he's mastered is that he's mastered in understanding what he's good at, and he's making sure that he pushes in that direction. I mean, he's not the only one. There are many more other artists that are doing more than one thing. You know what I mean? I'm just using him as an example.
True.
So for me, explore yourself, man. You know. So for me, doing radio was Karabo, you can sing. Karabo, you can speak well. Why not try radio? Get into radio, speak to the people. You know, have a conversation with the people listening at home. Because with radio, what I've realized is that it's personal to the person that you're speaking to. You know, it's more like you're speaking to one person, but you're speaking to a lot of people. But you make it personal to that person.
To that particular person.
Yeah. So that's how I sort of treat the show, and I treat myself whenever I'm in studio and I'm conducting my show. Yeah.
Okay, Ryder. So beside music, beside radio, do we see Karabo venturing into things like a TV presenting, acting, and all that?
Definitely, man. Definitely. I mean, in the long run, because at the end of the day, I'm building the brand Karabo. And if ever I can be able to explore myself as much as possible. Because also, if I try out acting and I see that doesn't work, it means that I've tried it out, it didn't work. You know. But if I never try, I'll never know if I am good at it or not.
True.
You know what I mean? So I'd like to venture into acting. I'd like to venture into presenting. I'd like to venture into whatever, traveling, whatever it is that my heart wants at that time, and I feel like I want to do it. Let me do it. Yeah, precisely.
All right, but then I'm also interested in knowing your time management. How do you manage your time? I mean, being a musician, and let's say for example it's Sunday, like this one, you are booked to perform somewhere. How do you manage doing the show and actually being able to perform elsewhere? I mean, when I say elsewhere, I'm talking about around the country and outside the country as well.
So the beauty about radio as well is that sometimes you can get a person to fill in for you if ever you are out wherever, because obviously they know that I'm a performing artist, so some Sundays I might not be available, you know, so then you have a person who can cover for you that week when you're not available, when you've gone to either Durban or Cape Town, wherever you've been, wherever you've gone to, you know. But not only that, I've also got management, so management will make sure that they put my diary correctly to make sure that things don't clash and I'm not doing 3 things at once, you know. I'm doing one thing at a time, and my time is managed correctly. And also now I've got my own timetable, you know, that I do for myself, besides the one that my management will put out. Yeah.
So out of curiosity, obviously being a musician, and I'm sure you want to collaborate with a whole lot of big artists worldwide. So who do you want to collaborate with?
John Legend, B.B. Winans, Adele, Jasmine Sullivan, Lala Hathaway. I'd like to work with Alicia Keys. I love her. There's this new guy called Daniel Caesar. Oh man, he's amazing. And there's a lady called She as well. I've just recently listened to her music. She's actually incredible. Another artist that I like to work with in this country is Java.
Yeah.
I think he's really, really cool.
Yes.
I mean, our music is completely different, but I like his vibe. Amanda Black, Alpha Traction, Black Coffee, AKA. Yeah. So there's a lot of artists that I like to work with. I mean, even Pendam Tambo, I'm working with her in one of my songs as well. Who else? Yeah. Questa, yeah, like a lot of people, man.
No, I truly understand that. So, but then why those people, to be specific? I mean, I'm looking at the artists that you are mentioning. Others are doing hip hop and you mainly focusing on R&B.
R&B and Afro, yeah. I mean, you listen to the guys like John Legend, for example. He's done songs with Rick Ross. He's done songs with Kanye.
True.
You know, but he's still true to his sound. You know, there's nothing wrong with exploring as long as you know what your sound is. So when I sell my music to the people, they know Karabo is this, but Karabo can do this, Karabo can do that. I mean, so
actually do that.
Yeah.
So to someone who's currently watching the show, what can you say to them?
Love what you do, man, and also pray for your gift. I think it's important that you pray for your gift, and not only that, but also practice. It's weird how I always say practice because practice makes perfect. So sing every single day. Practice. I sing all the time, man. I always try and find ideas even in my songs. I'll change things in my songs. The song is already there, but I'll change things. So when I perform live, people get a different experience of the song. It's not it's the same song, but done in a slightly different way, you know, with a different approach. So I always encourage people to work hard on their craft, continue doing it. Like radio, when I'm at home, I practice and just sit and practice and talk to myself, and that's how I get better at it. You know, with singing, the same thing, and with acting, I look into the mirror and I start pretending to be a character of whatever sort. You know, the more you do it, the better you become at it. I mean, even in school, it's like that. When you do mathematics, when you do those equations over and over, that's when you get better at it. Yeah.
Wow. And just before we wrap up the show, tell me about what are you studying currently?
I'm studying business management with UNISA, my first year. And so far so good. So far so good. Yeah. So I'm currently doing exams right now. Yeah, quite hectic, but yeah. I mean, we're pushing on, man. We're pushing on. So we're doing.
No, thank you so much, my brother. All the best of luck. I continue to shine and prosper. Okay.
Thank you very much, man.
What's going on, everyone? This is Donald, the man behind the red mic, and I'm here at UJFM, Matters of the Heart with my boy Karabo. It's on, man. I didn't even know he was on radio.
I'm on radio, man. That's what's up, people. That's what's up. Donald, we're gonna play out with your brand new single.
Yeah.
It's called Standing Ovation,
Yeah,
featuring Floda
Yes.
and Dream Team. Yeah.
I know you're gonna like this one.
No, I'm gonna enjoy it. I'm actually gonna play it right now
Yeah.
and let the people listen and let them tell me what. So guys, please make sure you tweet me at Mohana Karabo. Let me know what you think of Donald's brand new single. It's called Standing Ovation. Hashtag. In fact, tag him and let him know. What are your handles on Instagram, Twitter, and
I'm
Facebook?
Donald in Denial on Instagram, Donald in Denial on Twitter, and on Facebook. I've got a fan page called Donald. And yeah, man, and yeah, look out for there's a big show I'm working on. I'm actually working on my second direct mic experience show.
Is Karabo gonna be this?
So much stress.
Sorry, is Karabo gonna be
Karabo needs to give me a call. We can have a conversation about this. You know, you never know. You never know.
No, you need to do it, man. You need to do it.
I'm working on my second DVD.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be at the Dome, and it's big. That's all I gotta say.
It's gonna be absolutely incredible.
Huge.
Funny enough, I'm actually also gonna be working on mine as well.
Oh, that's so awesome.
Yeah. I'm gonna be working on my own one. But obviously, I'm gonna let people know. And
Where
maybe
are you gonna do it?
I'm thinking of doing it at where you did it first.
But Carnival City, that's
Yeah.
great. So you see, if I come for the show there, and then you can, then
You know what I
we can
mean?
make it
Then
happen.
we make it happen, man. We make it
Yeah,
happen.
man.
Guys,
And
this-
also, I'm also sorry. I just want to add. I'm also looking to sign 1 or 2 artists this year.
Okay.
I'm looking
Under your
for
stable?
artists. Yes, under my stable. It's been there literally from the beginning.
Mhm.
Donald has been under my own label from.
Oh, okay.
the beginning of it. Yeah. I love to take care of my own business.
That's dope,
And,
man.
this year I wanna open it up a little bit. There's a lot of talent I'm looking at, and one specific talent. Oh my God, this guy is so talented, and I know you know who.
I know exactly what you're talking
I'm
about.
talking about Loiso.
Yes. My boy, that's my boy. That boy is incredible, man.
Dude, like
He's
listen,
incredible.
He doesn't even know I'm giving him a call very soon. Making this thing.
Yeah, give him a call, man. Give him a call. If anything, I'll keep quiet so that
Please
he gets
keep quiet.
surprised.
Don't tell
I
him.
won't say
Don't share the
anything.
video. And I know he's probably not listening.
No, he's not.
It's
He's
live
in
on
Cape, so yeah.
Yeah.
Listen, I think when you do it, please let me know. I like to be there. Like when he officially signs.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, man. Look. For me, I think our season was probably one of the biggest seasons.
Yeah.
And like the talent that was there was crazy.
absolutely
You know, and I think he's probably one of the best that we had in that season. He's like crazy. I mean, he was. I mean, only 16 at the time, man.
Yeah.
And now he's
Mind
18. I think he's more
He's
matured
even
now.
better. Yeah.
And I think it's time.
Probably even mentally
Yeah.
also. Yeah. For me,
Tunnel?
most important. Thanks a
Like
lot,
I
man.
said, thank you very much for coming through, man. We
Appreciate it, man.
appreciate
Thanks
you.
for
We
the
love
interview.
you at UJFM. And if ever you want to come through and bring in new music,
Yeah.
this is home.
Thank you.
Every Sunday you can come through
Thank you so
anytime.
much.
Let's do it, man.
Appreciate it.
Thank you very
Let's
much,
go.
bro.
Standing ovation.
Standing ovation, man. Here we go.
Okay, right, and that's how we wrap up our show for today. But remember that the conversations are continuous on our social platforms. I'm talking about a Facebook as well as a Twitter. From myself, a gift, Ariel Makivado Maifala. Till we meet again next time, same place, the same time, right here on Massive TV. Goodbye and God bless.